Hello and welcome to this new tutorial, and in today's tutorial we will see how we can create QR codes and detecting them as well as decoding the information inside it using EmguCV. So particularly we need two libraries. One is QR coder, which will be used to generate the QR codes, and we will be using EmguCV, which is the wrapper for OpenCV for detection and decoding the information present in QR code. So let's go ahead and start the project. I created a Windows Forms app, and this is using .NET 8.0, and also you need to install the required libraries. So you can go and use this NuGet package manager, and here you can browse, and actually I have already installed them. These three libraries, this is emgucv.bitmap, emgucv.runtime.windows, and you can see the latest editions or the versions 4.8.1. and also I need this QR coder for generating the codes. Since I have already installed them, therefore it shows me uninstall option here, but in your case you need to go to browse and write the name of these three packages one by one, and then you will be able to actually see an option to install them. You just need to make sure that you select the correct version of that package, and then you just install it. So these three components or the libraries are important, so we can go ahead and work with the QR generation and a detection process. And for this Windows Forms design, I actually used this menu item here, menu strip. So I just created three menus, two menus items with sub items inside them. This is to open an image, save an image, and then we have under the processing, generate QR code and read QR code. So this is just going to open an image if you want to read an already saved QR code image, and this is just going to save whatever the information is in the picture box. And here I have put a panel first, and then inside that panel I provided this picture box to display those images. And the open image is pretty straightforward, so we are opening a file dialog there, and then we are reading only the images. So we provided a filter, and we are just showing a dialog to the user, and once the user selects something, an image, and it clicks OK, then we are just reading that image using this image object, and we are saving this one inside img input. So img input is basically an image which is of type BGR, blue, green and red, so it's a color image, and it stores the information in the form of bytes, and in this question mark means it can be null here. And once we read the information into this object, we are displaying it in this picture box. So this is the name of my picture box, which is picture box pb image dot its image, whatever the image we have here, and we are converting it into a bitmap and it's showing it. So that's pretty simple. And in order to save the image, we have created, when we double click on that, you can see here, to make sure if there is any error, my code still works smoothly. So I use this try and catch block, and I'm just looking at it. If I have the image in my picture box is null, then I shouldn't be doing anything, just give the message and then we are returning. Otherwise, I have created a function for save picture, so we can go ahead to this save picture I have created above. So when we open this one, I'm just opening a file dialog to save the information, and just apply these filters to make sure the image is being saved in the form of an image. And then we are showing that dialog, and we are making sure that the user has selected a path and entered a name for that file, and then we are getting the extension, and by default I'm considering that the extension of the saved file or image to be PNG, and otherwise we are also checking if it is JPG, BMP and the GIF, then we are just setting that format accordingly. And finally we are using the picturebox.image.save function, and we are just providing the file name of the dialog and also provide the extension here, and then we display a message. This is pretty forward. And now to generate the QR code, double click on this, and this is the function that will be called whenever user clicks on the generate QR code menu strip. So what actually I want to do is, this is the string that I just want to represent in the form of an image. So it can be a QR code image actually. So it can be any information that you want to do, like maybe a website URL or any other form of information that you want to store. So right now I have a string and I want to represent this string in the form of a QR code. So for this purpose we are actually needing this QR coder. So you need to use this statement using QR coder, and then what we need to do is we are creating the object of this QR code generator, and we name it QR generator. And this using statement will help me that this QR code generator will be only available within this context. So once I go outside of it, so it will be dereferenced, or it will not be used. And so this is how efficiently we can manage the memory. So QR code generator object is created, and now I'm creating this QR code by using this QR generators create QR code function, and this is expecting the data that we want to provide. And the second parameter that we have provided here is QR code generator.ECC labeled L. This last parameter actually specifies the error correction level for the QR code. So there are different levels of error correction supported in the provided library, that is OpenCV. If we provide this L, it means it uses a low error correction level we are providing, which is the 7% of the data bytes can be restored. Similarly, there are options like M. M basically means that the medium we have, and the medium can recover or restore 15% of the data bytes. Similarly, we have the Q. So if we use Q quartile, 25% of the data can be restored. And if it is high, we use H, then 30% of the data bytes can be restored. So currently for this purpose I am just using L, which means that we are going to use the lowest level of error correction. So this allows us to store more data, but it is less resilient against the errors. So if there are errors, and if we want to be more resilient against the errors, we need to keep it high. So for the time being I don't have any issues maintaining the information, so I just keep it to be a low here. And then this is just the data that has been generated, and we want this one to be in the form of an image. And to generate that QR code, actually we need the QR code object. So I created an object for the QR code, and it needs the QR code data that needs to be represented. And now we need to generate an image. So I am just generating a bitmap image, and on this bitmap image we are going to actually write this information. So you can see here that QR code.getGraphics, and here we are providing this 20 specifies the pixel size of each square, which is also known as a module in QR code. So this size actually influences the overall dimension of our generated QR code. So when we set it to 20, it means that each small square in the QR code will be 20 pixel by 20 pixels. So we can increase the size or we can decrease this size as well. So for example, if the QR code is made up of 21 by 21 grid, so this means that the resulting image will be 420 by 420 pixels, because there are 21 squares and multiplied by 20 pixels per square. So there are going to be 421 pixels on each side. So when we increase the number, we will make squares larger. So thus we are making a bigger QR code in physical size in the terms of an image. So now just we created this bitmap image, and just for my own purposes I copied that into my IMG input variable, which I created in the top. And just I want to show that image in my picture box, so I just created the picture box image is equal to my input.bitmap image, and this will essentially show the QR code inside the picture box. So I think let's go ahead and have a look at it and see how the QR code is generated for the string that we have just written here. Okay, so this is the file, and this is the user interface, and I'm just going to go ahead and click on this generate QR code, and now you can see here that this is the QR code that is generated for the string that we have provided. So now we can go ahead and actually save this string somewhere if you want. Click on this file and save image, and let's say I store it on desktop and I call it QR code -1 or -Jamil, and then click on save. So our image is basically saved, so we can also see here that this QR code has been generated. So once we have this QR code, the next thing that I want to do is to read the information present in that QR code. So let's go ahead and look at the implementation of the QR code reading module. So this is the menu that we are using. Double click on that. I have written the functionality for this reading QR code. So to read a QR code, first I need the image of the QR code to be loaded in the picture box. So we are just checking here if there is no image, so we are going to give a message that please load some sort of an image, and then I use this function to read information from a given QR code. So let's go ahead and look at the definition of this method here. So the first thing that I do is whatever the image is present in my picture box, I just converted or created a new bitmap image and then converted it into this image of EmguCV, so that I can use the EmguCV functionality to read that image. And so EmguCV is the image that was present in my picture box, and now it is imported into the data type of EmguCV. Now to detect the QR code, we are using this QR code detector object. And this QR detector object, actually we have a function, this is what we call it, the detect. So by detection, what actually it will do in a given image, it needs to find if there is any QR code present or not. And this detect function actually needs that image, and it is going to return us these points or the four corners of the detected QR code. So that's why we created a vector of those points with coordinates xy, and essentially it is going to give us four corners of our QR code if it is present there. And once we find the QR code, the next is to use QR detector's decode method to extract the actual information from those given corners, from that image with their corners. So this decode function needs the actual image of this QR code and the 4 points that have been detected here, and it is going to decode the information and return it in the form of a string. And that's as simple as it looks. And just we are checking if there is string is not empty, then we are going to show the message, so it means that the information has been decoded. And if there is no information was decoded, we can give a message like no QR code was detected. And that's pretty much that we want to do. So let me run this once more. And first I just generate the QR code, so you can see the QR code has been generated, and what information is inside it, I just want to read that QR code or decode that QR code. So this is the information that actually I encoded inside this QR code. You can see here this is Dr. Akhtar Jamil, Associate Professor at FAST NUCES. So this is what exactly the information that we have. Now remember that if we have a longer string, of course the size of our QR code is going to be bigger because more information that we need to store. And this 20 by 20 size is basically the cell size that is going to affect. So those will be decided by the user what kind of information they need, what sort of error that they can support, and based on that we need to decide how we can use it or what kind of information that we want to store it. I hope this tutorial provided you some basic information about how to generate QR codes and how you can decode the information inside QR code using EmguCV. Hope to see you in another video.